Oh, hey, didn't see ya. You're watching Explode Monkey.
Hello everyone, Explode Monkey here. Bit of a different video today. Today I'm going to be reviewing artwork in Fire Emblem Heroes. You might have seen a similar video on my good friend Sab's channel. He actually gave me inspiration to do this. And soon we will be doing this on each other's channels. So I'll be on his channel doing some artwork, then he'll be on my channel. We'll kind of do a back and forth thing. So yeah, it should be fun. Also, before I start the video, I'm just going to do the YouTube thing, subscribe, like, and you can see more of fun videos like this. But today, I'll be reviewing artwork for Arthur, Saber, Grail, New Year's Anna, Apotheosis Anna, Brave Celica, and Fallen Berkut. The reason I'm doing these characters is not because they're plus 10s except Arthur, but just because I like these characters. So, yeah. But, I guess first off, let us start with good old Arthur. So, Arthur's done in this interesting comic book-esque style that no other character has been done in the game before. Personally, I think it's really nice and really changes him up from all the heroes. Even in just his neutral pose here, it's very heroic looking. You know, he looks like he's a hero. He has his one finger up and he's, you know, being the bosom body of justice. I like it. It looks nice. It's a nice breath of fresh air from, you know, all the very anime-esque art styles in this game, and it's more like comic booky. I like it. I'll also be going over his attack and damage art. The reason I won't be doing special is because it's usually just like lighting changes and like a bit of flare, but you know, it looks nice, I'll say that much, but onto his attack art. Again, it has like this kind of, his very dynamic, like heroic, like kind of Superman, like one arm forward, flying in to save the day type look. It's dynamic. He's carrying his axe behind him, which he finally got as a refine for a weapon. He had a emerald axe for the longest time, so I'm happy they gave him that axe, which is called Arthur's Axe in Fates. Yeah, again, very heroic pose. I love how it uses the dark blacks for shading. It looks very nice. It gives off that comic book style they're really trying to go for here. He looks great. Nothing much to critique here, you know, it looks all pretty good. I mean, the ear here is a bit under-detailed, I guess, but that's not too big of a issue. The lines look very jagged, but I think that's just kind of part of, you know, the style of it all. And if it wants to load the damage artwork. Now, I wouldn't say this is the best damage artwork, like in terms of like a character, you know, holding a weapon in front of them trying to defend themselves, like in that category. But I do like this damage artwork. It's not like super fan servicey, and like I do like, you know, the shading on his face where you only see like half of his face, you know, in the light, and the other half's like covered in black shading, and you know, the sweat drop, he's like, oh shit. Like I really like this. And they did a really good job with just, it's still, even though it's not like as like, you know, interesting in the like defending himself department, it's still a very dynamic pose. Like, you know, even though he's been damaged, he's still willing to, you know, try and attack the enemy. Like, even with his axe even damaged as well, like, he's still trying to attack and save the day. Fun fact, Arthur is actually my first +10, so I kinda thought I'd do him first, and even though I don't use him as much anymore, he still has some amazing art, I have to say. And his style is unlike any other character in the game, and I do hope we get to see more artwork like this in the future. Okay, next is Saber. I have quite a few critiques for Saber. So let's go here, zoom in. Now, I think the artwork's overall fine. There's nothing, like, too bad about it. Like, the armor looks fine, you know, the pose looks fine. It's shows off Saber's character. The one thing I don't like, and the rugged face is fine, although I prefer the Shadows of Valentia look, but his beard here, now you might be, oh, well, that's just his normal beard, what are you talking about? Well, in Shadows of Valentia, you can go and look, his beard's orange. In his official artwork and in his in-game portrait. But here, for some reason, it's brown, and I know, and the reason why that is just because his concept artwork has it brown, but it looks so much better when it's orange, I think. Although, you know, it's not a huge bother, and there's an even bigger thing we have to discuss that is unredeemable in the artwork, and something they need to change if they give him a Resplendent. We're actually going to do the special artwork for this one, so I have a discrepancy with that too. So this expression's amazing. Like, he looks pissed. Like he's gonna kill someone. But something that has thrown me off, and I don't know why they haven't gone back and just changed it, is this. Now, I don't know what happened, but for some reason, they gave him Joshua's weapon, the Oddhema, and Joshua in his art is just holding like a normal katana. I don't know why they decided to give him Joshua's sword. Maybe they commissioned the artist around the same time and then accidentally gave them the wrong weapons for each character. That could be a possibility. I just kind of find this annoying, to be honest. Don't know why he's wielding it when, you know, he was either wielding like a slaying edge in his artwork, or he should have been wielding the golden dagger, but yeah, I find this very odd. Because the Oddhema, it has like blue effects, and while the effects are alright, I personally don't think they work the best on Saber, although they don't look terrible. I'm just not a huge fan of them, but maybe that's just from what I saw in game. And yeah, the posing is very dynamic. It's like he's running into, you know, kill an enemy. Now, the damage artwork is done very well, in my opinion. He's actually blocking, you know, an oncoming attack. He has a sword in one hand, he's like holding it back with his other hand. It's a very nice pose, and, you know, it's not... The only fan service here is shown a bit more chest, but he's already shown quite a bit to begin with. But, yeah, it's done pretty tastefully and well. He's, you know, got his feet planted on the ground like he's, you know, trying to stay in one place, and he's trying to hold the attack back so he doesn't, you know, get hit too hard from it. I like it. It's nice. Okay, next is Grail. This is the only Daisuke one I'm gonna do. I know Sab made a whole thing about in his video that I cannot do this Daisuke because we're doing that for his channel. We're reviewing all his art. But Grail, I really like Grail's art. It's really, really nice. This is a seasonal, but they kept, you know, the color scheme of his, you know, normal, artwork and, you know, kept pretty original and traditional to the character. And they kept the same color scheme, which is really nice, and just overall really nice art for Grail. Kind of portrays Carol pretty nicely, you know, he's holding a flower to give you. There's some that I kind of don't like about the art. We're gonna zoom in. The eyes are kind of a bit odd to me. Maybe it's just the art style, but they've always looked a bit off to me a bit. I don't know, I think it's this eye. It just looks a tad bit off to me. It's not like terrible, it just looks a bit weird to me is all. Maybe I'm just weird, but it looks kind of odd to me, but also the fingers, this thumb is kind of pointy almost too. And this pinky here looks way too long, and kind of looks almost like there's no dimensional, like, doesn't looks very flat, not like it's, you know, a 3D object. But they look fine over here. Again, you probably, on a normal hand, the pinky is much smaller than your ring finger, so they should probably make the pinky smaller, but those are just very small critiques from me. Okay. I can also close these two. And we're going to look at his attack slash special art. Do his attack. Okay, his attack art. Love the pose, first off. It's like he's jumping heroically into battle. Love the expression. He looks pissed. The axe, for some reason, looks a bit small. You know, compared to, like, other axes, this looks very small to me. Maybe that's, you know, just me thing, but I think the handle of the axe should be, you know, longer, especially for a guy like Grail. This would be, like, way too close combat for an axe. Yeah, but very nice artwork. They did a great job with posing him, you know. The colors look great. I actually thought this here, it's his coat's, like, armholes. Like, you put your arms in there, but for the longest time, I thought, like, this was a, like, shoulder pad, like his usual shoulder pad he wears. I thought, like, that's what this was for the longest time, and you know, I found out, like, a while ago that's just, oh, it's just, you know, the cape shirt thing he's wearing. But yeah, it looks fine here, you know. There's some dynamic shading where you can't see the eye here because, you know, the shade's blocking it. It's pretty cool. And shading overall is very nice. Okay, this is a critique-worthy piece. So there is quite a bit of fan service here. I mean, nothing too huge, just showing a bit of abs, I guess, if you're into that. He looks like in this art, he's not so much defending himself, but rather challenging the opponent, like, fucking hit me, I dare you. It's a nice take on the damage artwork, because it's like... it's like he just looks so damn cocky here. But what I'm wondering is what caused the damage on his coat. It looks like he was shot by a cannon in multiple locations, because, like, what causes this type of damage? Like, this is like something shot him. You don't just get that with a sword. Like, this damage art is one of the most over-the-top damage arts, and I don't know why. I think, like, okay, I'll be fair, Daisuke does, like, some very interesting damage arts. His damage art for George is also just as crazy. Not sure why they went crazy, not sure why he went crazy here with it, but I have to say, it's still pretty good. I just kind of find it funny how not only his Grail looks like he's challenging the enemy rather than defending himself, he also was, like, literally shot by a cannon. It's kind of weird. I don't know what their intention with it was, but you know what? I'm here for it. Okay, next is New Year's Anna. Excuse me for 1 second. Alright, New Year's Anna. This, pretty simple, but, it's also really cute. You know, it's very showing of her, looks like she's kind of like, you know, walking forward a bit. It's very showing of her personality. She's wearing, you know, a cute, kimono, and she's holding the cards with her hands. She's got her finger on her, chin. It's really cute. I like it. She's got her, bow here and low cap. Something I do like that the artist did was, I like the texture on this little fur thing here. It's a small detail, but it's really nice. And also this. I like this, too, that they gave her this little accessory right in between her hair and her, ponytail. It's very intricately detailed, and I really like it. And all the references to kind of, like, money in her design with all the gold and, like, these coins here, which are in, you know, reference to the cat. And just even the piece of paper that says G, like, there's a lot of references to money here. And I mean, it's kind of weird that they did this, because besides the paralogs, before this, Commander Anna wasn't very money-centric, so it's kind of interesting that they decided to flesh her into a more money-centric character. I also love the blush. Examining a lot of this artwork is kind of giving me a new appreciation for it, almost. Because I see the artwork so much and don't think much of it, but when you look at it closer, you know, you get the finer details. So there is a bit of a difference here, and I'll go over this one shortly, but I'm gonna do this one first. So again, not much I can really say, like, in terms of critiquing this artwork. It's a very dynamic pose, you know, pulling back the string on the bow, aiming to shoot the enemy. It is kind of weird that she's got, like, one foot grounded and the other, like, in the air. But, you know, still, it keeps the pose dynamic, though, so it's, that is nice. I like that they decided to at least keep the pose dynamic. I think this is a bit interesting here, because you see a lot of the front of the bow, but it looks like the arrow is being, like, loaded in, like, a weird way. I feel like the arrow shouldn't be that straight, while the bow is, you can see more of the front of the bow. I feel like the arrow should be just turned a bit more. That caused them to probably turn Anna a bit more. Maybe that's just how I see it. It's just a bit weird in terms of perspective for me. Also something to mention here, the little card she was holding earlier is over here in the air, and the other she's clenching in between her teeth. I just thought that was a neat little detail. Now we'll move on to her. I'm going to cover her special artwork from the small view we get, just because it's not a huge change, but a noteworthy one nonetheless. In her special, you can see the little blue card right here, because her mouth's open, so she's no longer clenching in between her teeth. Also, the effects on this one are just crazy. I really like it. The damage. It's kind of hard to defend yourself with just a bow. Oh, okay, here's a funny thing. I'll zoom in for this one. So as you can see here, I found this kind of funny. I just realized this actually. But, the little cat here, in the previous things, didn't really have any eyes. But now it, like, has a tear coming out of its one eye, it looks all worried and everything. I think that's just kind of funny. But, on Anna, on the other hand, this is, very modest, not fan servicey, damage artwork. It looks like she's trying to hold the bow in front of herself to at least protect herself a bit. But, they did a really good job with this one. It looks like she was burned by magic more than anything. Like, she got hit by, like, fire and a sword swung and broke her bow and everything. But it looks like there's a lot of burn damage. Down the cape here, right here on the kimono, and, yeah, just a lot of damage. It was really well done. It's an interesting choice for burn damage, because most damage artwork looks like they just got sliced by a sword or axe or spear or something, but interesting choice. Not too fan servicey. Looks like she knows, stumbling back a bit from being damaged too much. I think it's a neat choice. And the art, it's still pretty dynamic posing just for damage artwork. Not the best, but pretty good nonetheless. Apotheosis Anna. This is one where there's quite a bit to talk about, actually. So first off, I love the awakening reference to the little teddy bear. They even I love how they even tried emulating, like, the awakening, like, kind of look. Like, they tried emulating Kozaki's artwork almost with the shading and everything. Which is really nice. And I love that they, used the Apotheosis Anna design. The shading is very soft and nice, and just looks really nice on Anna. Love that they, put her one finger up and she's carrying a backpack full of, legendary weapons from the series, actually. These are all, most of these are actually legendary weapons, I believe. Even this bow is, too. I know Gradivis and Mercurius, and, there's killing weapons, there's brave weapons, there's tons of stuff in here. And there's even some steel weapons. Yeah, I really like this artwork. Is just, even if you look past, when you look past Anna, there's still just so much referencing, in here, and I just really like that. I like just how they didn't decide just do regular Anna, because they decided to do a spear, which is nice. It gives her some color variety. Okay. It's done by Kaye. They're an amazing artist. more art. You can see, you know, a bit more of the weapons here, which is nice. You can kind of tell which weapon's which. Her attacking pose, very, very dynamic. Even though she's weighed down by, like, this huge, you know, case of weapons, you know, it's still dynamic. She still looks agile. Love how she's, actually holding the spear. Spear's so long it doesn't even fit, but yeah, like, I love how she's just, like, holding the spear, like, looking at her enemy, like, ready to attack, and just, like, looks like she's almost, like, holding it back, just, like, you know, thrust it forward. I love how they, you know, even have the hair going back a bit from, I assume, lunging forward. Little teddy bears flying around. I really don't have any problems with this artwork, it's very nice and done very well. I don't see any issues with it, unless someone, you know, points one out to me. The nose is a bit odd here. It's not terrible, but, excuse me. Looks a bit small. I mean, I'm fine with just this line and, you know, but I feel like they could have extended this out a bit, but that's just personal kind of issue. It's nothing big. It's just something I just noticed right now. Special, not much different, just her mouse open, some nice red lighting. And then we have damage. Now, damage artwork is very cool. Like others, it's, you know, not fan servicey, but I like how there's tons of gold coins just flying everywhere now, and all the legendary weapons from her backpack are, you know, starting to fly out, and you can really get a good glimpse at what each weapon is now, and there's just gold everywhere. It's like she's trying to, it looks like she's trying to catch some gold with her one hand here, or one of the weapons, I'm not sure, but just losing balance. Let's see, bows are flying out, gold's going everywhere. It's just really nice, and the shading still looks great, and you can even see, you know, she's on her legs, she's got some cuts and scrapes on her thighs and legs. It's little details that you really don't notice at first, but they're really nice. She's also got, like, a pretty big scrape on her arm here as well. But she's still got rosy blush in cheeks, which is cute. And the hair is, you know, still flying back like that. Looks like her hair is even a bit messed up from getting attacked. And the teddy bear's still flying there. Yeah, overall, this is one of my favorite arts in Heroes. Like, out of all, like, this has to be in, like, top, like, 3 arts in the game. It's really great. Celica, Warrior Priestess. The reason I include this, Celica is my third favorite character in the series, and it's drawn by Hidari, my favorite artist in the series. This is, you know, very basic forward-facing art. I feel like it's really well done, really tasteful. I love the reference to, you know, the Gaiden artwork here. I mean, it's the Gaiden with, you know, a few changes here and there, but I really like that they took the retro Gaiden designs and put them with, you know, the new characters. Really a big fan. Something I'm not a huge fan of is her arms. Maybe it's just me, but they kind of look very skinny. I feel like her arms should be a bit bigger. I'm not like much more, but that's just kind of a personal thing. But I really like how well they did Celica. Right here is kind of... Let me zoom in on it. Kinda don't like how it goes completely like from dark shade here to light shade here, because it looks like this should be going in the back, but the huge change in shading is kind of weird, but other than that's fine. It's just a nitpick. The rest of it's really well done, and it's in that Hidari style, so you know it's really good. Reset. Oh. And we'll move on to her next artwork. Come on. So we're actually going to go over her special artwork. So I love her attacking and special artwork, especially her special artwork. The attack pose, first of all, is dynamic and kind of the same, you know, issue with the arms, but can't change that much. But I love this pose, first off, you know. The one leg up, you know, lunging in for an attack. The cape, how the cape looks is great. And this special effect. The reason I want to choose this is because it's so much different from any of the other special effects in the game. Besides, you know, alms. I love the effect look of it. It's like, when I first saw this, I was reminded of the, admittedly, I was reminded of the goop from Mario Sunshine. I don't know why that's what first came to mind, but yeah, this reminds me of the Mario Sunshine goop. I love, like, how it's not just, like, one color, it's like a mix of, like, you got some pink, some, like, hot pink up here, then you got more yellow into a orange, and then that orange transcends back to, like, the red and pink. I just love, like, the usage of colors here and the lighting on silica because of it. It's just great. Just love it. It's, like, one of the reasons, like, Hidari's artwork is just some of my favorite in the game, just because just interesting choices like this, you know, not following the norm, doing something interesting, and this here is interesting. I really like it. And the hair looks great too, you know, the dynamic of that is amazing. The neck is a bit off here. It looks like the hair that should be on her scalp leading, you know, up there, looks like it's just blending in with the back of her hair. You know, I guess the back of her hair would be more, you know, up here rather than down here, but maybe that's just me being dumb with anatomy. Okay, load, please. Okay, damage artwork. This, now first off, I do gotta say, you know, done tastefully. There's not too much fan service here, you know. Most fan service they've given us in this artwork is their thighs, and, you know, not too terribly much showing. Love all the little breaks in her armor, and, little pieces breaking off. Gives it a bit, you know, more of a realistic vibe. It's not over the top. It doesn't need to be, especially with how modest her design is in general. She's got, like, you know, a little worry thing. She's not really protecting herself. She's kind of just, like, looks like she has a stomach ache. Maybe she got hit here or something. Yeah, it's like, the pose is alright. It's, like, dynamic as, you know, it needs to be, but it just feels like she could, you know, be holding a royal sword in front of her or something instead of, you know, looking like she has either an upset stomach or bloody gash there. But I do like, you know, the modesty of very little of an armor break. It's nice. Just wish she was maybe holding the sword in front of her to protect herself a bit. There's not really any bruises on her I can notice, which, yeah, again, the modesty of the attacking artwork, but most artwork we've seen has some sort of bruising on the character, so that's interesting. And finally, we're going to talk about Berkut. Fallen Berkut, the Purgatorial Prince himself. There's a lot here. His neutral artwork. There's a lot to talk about here. First, we've got the main man himself. Now, the artist for all the Berkuts does an amazing job with shading, I have to say first off. Like, the shading here on the armor looks great, works well with the lighting, the cape flying, the cat flying in the background, just the overall, like, look of Berkut. He just looks like he's completely lost, even in his expression, how his back is bent, you know, it's just, you know, he's like kind of smiling, the red eyes, the aura around him of just, all like the purple flames of, you know, what the Fallen characters have. Sometimes they transition to like dark blue into black in areas. Then you've got Renea here behind him, which is just really nicely done. It's just, her flame goes all the way from her hair all the way to down to where Berkut's legs are, and you see she's holding on to Berkut, just the small embers of fire coming off her, and it's just so detailed. And they even kind of changed up her look and gave her Renea's kind of hairstyle. The in-game model in Echoes is kind of just the same model for excuse me. It's kind of just the same model for this type of character, so they didn't change too much, but I like that they gave her a bit of a different look here. Finally, Creamheld. The eyes, it's looking at Berkut. I assume this is this eye is kind of like a, Duma type thing, because this is a lance that came at a cost, and took Berkut's, soul for power. Even Creamheld has like its own little flare around it. It's really detailed, it's almost gross. The lance pulsates, I believe, which is very gross, but just adds to the creepiness of Fallen Berkut. Pulsates in Echoes, I should say, not in Heroes. I think Berkut was one of the first characters to actually add, interesting idol animations. Now we're gonna go over special artwork again, because this one adds Renea and a bunch of effects. Now, Berkut's gone mad. He's got this huge, like, open mouth, huge grin. You can see, like, each individual tooth, like, his eyes are, like, red. He's got Renea right beside him. And he's, that's just, he's using the lance with one hand, and the posing is super dynamic, and the addition of Renea is amazing, too. See her legs and everything. Right beside Berkut, like, hand on his shoulder. His cape is flowing, like, crazy, like, amazingly. There isn't much you'd expect there to be more of, like, a kind of, well, I guess there is kind of a backlighting from Renea's fire, but I'd expect it to be a bit more intense because she's right there. But that's just me. Like, you can see kind of that, even then you can't really see the intensity, you can just see kind of a bit of a bright flame, like a bright shading against his armor, but I feel like it should be a bit more intense because she's right there. That's just me. I think Berkut's overall composition just overall looks great. Well, my favorite villain in the series for sure. And finally, the damage artwork. Again, same thing as Selka, where he's holding the lance back instead of, using it to protect himself, but again, you know, it's kind of hard to protect yourself with a lance. But I love how he's, you know, like, his hand is going through his hair. You know, you can this eye, the shading on this eye is like, you can just see like the red circle, the red dot in his eye. You can't even see the it's all black there, which is really cool. See scrapes up against his neck and his arm, you know. His, you know, cape's kind of coming, just completely fallen off of him. All this is ripped up. There's even more like detailed scrapes you can see here with some blood. And you can see the dark power swirling around him as, you know, going a bit more crazy and starting to lighten up a bit from, you know, just all his armor flying and everything. And even the posing's still very dynamic. It's very well done for damaged artwork. I really like it. Even Creamhill, you know, the eye's still looking that way. Fun fact with Berkut, in the English version, he's just voiced by Ian Sinclair, but in the Japanese version, they have Duma in the background for his voice lines. The only lines Duma isn't in the background are the lines where Berkut's talking about Renea. Those are the only lines that Duma doesn't back voice, but I think it's kind of cool that they did that for Japanese. Wish they did that for English, but Ian Sinclair's such an amazing voice actor that they didn't need to. But that wraps things up for this video. Thank you guys for watching. This is a new type of video I want to try doing. And you can definitely, there's already ones on Sab's channel, which I'll put in the end card and link in the description. If I can even put it in the end card. But there is one on Sab's channel. Check that out. He did a great job with analyzing all his plus 10 units. I would have done some more artwork, but I just wanted to tackle a few personal favorites. I still have some artwork I really like, but I didn't want to do too much. But yeah, thanks for watching. We're gonna do, I know we're just gonna keep doing episodes on each other's channels, but you know, if you're still watching, thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. You know, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, do all that stuff. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all later.